Welcome to the Complete Game Podcast, where we're all about baseball with Ethan Dungan, owner of Glovehound Baseball Glove Repair Shop, Rick Finley, founder of MD&I Baseball Academy, and the creator of George Foster Baseball, the MVP himself, Reds Hall of Famer George Foster. I'm your host, Greg Dungan. Now let's talk baseball.
Baseball apple pie, Chevrolet.
Hey, fellas. So welcome to episode 12. Did you think we'd make 12?
I'm not going to cry.
Man, that's fast.
That is 12. 3 months goes by fast, doesn't it?
It does.
It was fun.
We had a good time with this. And
One guy kept canceling, but it's all
Oh, yes, man. They don't know what day this is.
I know.
It's Wednesday.
It's cool, though. We've had a good time, had a good
Good run.
making these 12 episodes. And so for those of you who are tuning in, this is going to be the last episode of the first half of the season. And we're going to take a few months off to play baseball. We've got lots of stuff going on. We got tournaments to play and teams to coach, and Ethan's got a baby coming, and we got all kind of crazy stuff going on. So we're going to take a couple months off here, and then we'll be back in September, October, November with 12 more episodes. So stay tuned. Follow it. There you go.
Look at that, man.
So
salt and pepper.
follow it on CompleteGamePodcast.com. If you want to sign up for the mailing list there, we'll let you know when we go live again. And we're going to be posting some stuff on social media and some other extra, content in between and things like that to keep you engaged. But we'll be back in the fall and looking forward to doing that. But today, we're going to talk about how to watch a baseball game. One thing that I have learned in the last 3 months is how to watch baseball entirely differently than I did before. Just by hanging out with these guys, it has changed the way I see the game when I watch it. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to focus on watching it at the ballpark today, not watching it on television, because you can see so much more when you go to the ballpark. And we hope that we can inspire y'all to go out and get some tickets and go watch the ball game. And even if you don't go to an MLB game, go to a minor league game, go to a college game, go to a high school game, go to a little league game.
Minor league game, Colorado Rockies.
Go check some of that
Dayton
out. Dayton
Dragons.
If you happen to be able to get tickets to the tour when the
4-24.
When the Savannah Bananas come to town, that would be.
I want to play. I want to play that game.
I was watching one of those the other night. They were playing the Party Animals, and oh my goodness,
I've seen them several times.
Oh,
but those guys are very athletic.
Oh my goodness!
Even the umpire.
Some of those trick shots.
You see,
it was crazy. A lot of dancing going on. It looked like it would be a lot of fun to go see. So anyway, go see some baseball this year. We're going to start off. I've messed up all the segments today, so we're going to go back to featured faves, and we're going to talk about some of our favorite things. So one of the things we're going to talk about here right off the bat is, what is your favorite ballpark food? And the person I know at this table who likes to eat more than anybody else is this kid right over here. So, Ethan, why don't you start us off? What is your favorite ballpark food? I think I know what it is.
This is the easiest question
of all.
This is 100% no doubter for me. It is nachos.
Nachos.
yes,
It is nachos.
same with me. That's
And
mine.
It doesn't have to be just baseball. I will eat the little round chips and the fake cheese anywhere,
same.
any place, anytime. I love it.
That artificial.
Same here.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter. Football game, it doesn't matter. Marching band, it doesn't matter. If there's a concession stand and they have nachos, that's what I'm going to
He
order.
doesn't care
That's
about
first thing.
getting a seat. I want my nachos.
I want my nachos, and then especially if they come with the jalapenos on the side. Man, that's my-
Jalapeno.
Now, I don't even mess with that.
So then, when we went to my wife and I went to a game, a Reds game last year, and I got the helmet nachos, and they came loaded with all kinds of stuff. And then I love nachos so much that I took that helmet, the big plastic helmet, home, and I made helmet nachos at my house. And watched them and ate them on my couch.
Nacho cheese.
So yes, my favorite, bar none, nachos.
Okay, George, you've been in so many different ballparks over the year. What is your favorite ballpark food?
But I was playing. I couldn't eat. I was playing. But the last time, were two stories. One, so Jack Billingham's in the bullpen. He wasn't starting that day. So he had the clubhouse guy to make him a sandwich. And then as the clubhouse guys going to the bullpen to take the sandwich, Sparky said, where are you going with this sandwich? Well, Jack Billingham asked for a sandwich. So Sparky got it and rolled it up, balled it up. So now I'll take it to him. But yeah, because you're not allowed to really, you can sneak and eat, but you're not allowed to be eating during the game. But when I wasn't playing much, Dodger Stadium was my favorite because I love their peanuts.
Okay.
And so in the bullpen, it's connected to the concession stand. And there was a little opening there, and the kid was wanting a baseball. So I traded a baseball for a bag of peanuts. So I thought that was a great bargain at the time. So I loved it in the bullpen until Sparky said, you got to pinch here, you got to pitch run. No, but I don't want to stay here. But at least I left it at peanuts. I didn't ask for a drink or what do you call the snow cones, slushies, things and such. I didn't want to get an upset stomach during the game. But peanuts, but Dodger Stadium and Riverfront had the best peanuts. I actually ordered a big box of peanuts for me, and then I shared it with the ground crew. But the peanuts, they were the best.
Yes.
Yeah, peanuts. I always remember the peanuts at Riverfront. They were fun. That was always a highlight for me.
Do you remember Peanut Jim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like, some of these guys are very accurate with, they want peanuts and they throw them up in the stands. But I said, how do you get your money back? I mean, how do you get your money? So they had to pass the money. It's like in the church.
It down.
They pass it down. But the guy, he passed $5. By the time he got to the vendor, it's $1.
I'll never forget. We went to a game when I was a kid, and there was this guy who would walk up and down, and his call was very. You could always tell it was him because he'd be like roasted, salted peanuts, and then he would say, and you could always tell when he was anywhere near you because he would say it over and over again, and it made you just want those peanuts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir.
Oh yeah.
That was cool. Rick, what about you, buddy? What's your favorite ballpark food?
Well, besides nachos, hot dog, a good hot dog, man.
Foot long.
Yeah, foot long. Yeah. Good hot dog with.
Did you have mustard on it?
You know it. Mustard, relish.
Mayonnaise.
That's it. Nah, I don't get mayonnaise. Just those two condiments, man. A good hot dog. Ballpark Franks, man.
I love a good hot dog as well. I tell my wife, I'm so glad that I married you because otherwise I would probably eat a hot dog for dinner every single night. It's so easy and it's so good.
Janice is not a big fan of the hot dog.
Nah, she's not.
Really?
Not her favorite, but
okay.
But growing up, not at the ballpark, sauerkraut. So we had
I like
had the hot dogs in the sauerkraut.
Yeah.
So we had sauerkraut like 3 times a day. So after a while, I was like, I want something else. Bring me some nachos or something. No, but sauerkraut.
Did sauerkraut get you heartburn?
It did. But
I thought I was the only one.
It filled you up. That vinegar in it.
Yeah.
So my favorite ballpark food, it all centers at Riverfront. In the thing that I coveted more than anything else at Riverfront, I like the peanuts. I like the hot dog. It was the ice cream sundae in the batting helmet. That was the thing.
Ice cream sundae.
Yeah,
Wow.
you could go and order, and you could get a hot fudge sundae.
Okay.
And they would serve it to you in this little plastic batting helmet.
Yeah.
And you eat it out of a batting helmet. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And I used to totally hold out to get the ice cream sundae with the batting helmet. That was just my favorite
Did you
thing.
want the ice cream or the batting helmet?
Both, yes. But the batting helmet was like this
Yeah,
big.
it's
It was a
only
little
that
bitty
big,
thing.
yes.
And you would just eat it. It was a little cup. But I loved that. And that's baseball. Now, when you start talking football, I've been to the Holy Land to see the Packers play a couple of times, and that's where you eat the brat.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
It is amazing. And I will often opt for the brat over the hot dog. If I'm feeling spendy that day, but yeah, I do like that. Remember there was the one spot when you were little, we would go to the Reds game, and there was one spot you had to walk all the way around, but you get like $1.50 hot dogs.
Yes.
And we would walk all the way around the dumb thing and go down and then find it.
Yeah.
It was like down near the kids area or something.
$1.50 hot dogs.
And you could get cheap hot dogs.
beer.
We go down there and pound the hot dogs. Those was always fun.
But some of the ballpark, it wasn't really fair. It had the kids menu, and I really wanted that, You get the chicken fingers. You're like, yeah. I'm getting this for my kid. Yeah.
One year we went for Mother's Day. This was epic. We went down and we decided we took Leslie and we were going to go down and so Ethan and Madison, Leslie, and I, we all went down for the game, and it was raining, and so we thought, well, let's go. They said, well, they got a brunch up in the whatever the restaurant was that's out over down the first base line up there. Nice restaurant up there that you can kind of see. It's big.
Sometimes it's enclosed in glass,
Yeah,
but
it
sometimes
is.
they open it up.
Anyway,
okay.
they told us to go up there and they had a brunch. And so we went up there and we all went in and we had brunch and whatever. But it was going to be forever to get in. And so we were like, well, it's raining outside. Might as well just wait. And so we're waiting and we're on the list. And then this lady came in behind us and she starts harassing the hostess, like absolutely entitled. I want it. My seat should be right. And she's just giving it to her, just like letting her have it. And I felt so badly for this girl. And afterwards, this lady stomps away, and afterwards I said, if she's that mad, you could give her our spot. We'll wait for something else. She's like, no, you're fine. It wasn't 5 minutes later. The manager comes over and he goes like this. And we went in and they took us down the tier and had us sitting right by the window. We got her seats.
Wow.
Was it on first base side?
Yeah, it was on first base side.
yes.
And we were right on the line, man. And we watched, and that was the day
I was gonna say that was not just any baseball game.
No.
That was the day that Joey Votto hit 3 home runs, with one of them being a walk-off grand slam against the Nationals. That was
that was an amazing
That was a
game.
With
historic
straightaway center.
Yep. So every time I
Listen,
see a
Rodriguez-
replay of that, I'm like, oh,
That's pretty cool.
I was
Yeah.
there.
And we sat right there at this fancy table right against the glass and watched the whole thing. And it was
Sometimes it's
fantastic.
good to be nice.
Yes.
It was a good Mother's Day. All right. So where is your favorite place to sit, Ethan, when you go to a baseball game?
Man,
After the nachos, it's in the bathroom.
Especially with the jalapenos.
Oh, man.
I usually
Bubbling.
I usually like to be as behind home plate as possible. There was a game that you and I went to, and we got some really nice. Was it
We got scout seats.
Scout seats?
Yes.
That was really cool. But this last just a couple months ago, we went on. It was game 2 of the season, and we were behind home plate, but up in like the middle tier. And that was really cool. I thought we were going to be too high, but you really had a great view of everything. And you can't see the pitches move quite as much when you're that far away. But that was really cool to be able, since doing the show and having a better appreciation for the movement of the players not involved in the play. It was cool to be able to see everything going on. So I really enjoyed that. I think I liked that better than being down the line, because you get a better feel for how far the ball is going and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What about you, George? Where do you like to sit when you take in a baseball game?
It depends on the batter. If it's a right-handed batter, I want to be between home plate and first base. If it's left-handed, between home plate and third, because I want to see the mechanics, seeing how their footwork happening, or mechanics. So that helps me to really watch and see the difference in their stances and their mechanics. And the other one is being straight away and out in the outfield, so I can see not only the fielders, but seeing once again the approach by the batter. So those 3 aspects. I didn't like being behind home plate. The diamond seats, those are plus seats, but they don't have a screen above, and those foul balls are coming. So I have a fear not only the ball's coming at me, but trying to catch it and miss it. And they're like, didn't that guy used to play? that happened in a game with my team. I had gone to the ladies' room. I had gone to the restroom, and a foul ball came, and I tried to catch it barehanded. It hit my hand and it dropped. It's like everybody was silent. Oh, did he really do that? Is he the manager of the team? And he dropped that foul ball.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, the diamond seats, I like the fact that you get everything free, free parking.
Yeah, sure do.
And you get, because I had taken a friend there. I said, get it whatever you want. Then he said, you sure? I said, yeah, it's on me. Get everything you want.
What about you, Rick? Where do you like to sit?
Well, lately, my wife, her company, and my daughter's company, They have the Scout seats. Sonia's company, they have Scout seats, so I've been there several times, or on the side too. So those are pretty nice seats. And then
It's great when it's real hot or it's raining because you're undercover.
Yes, and then lately, about a couple weeks ago, my daughter Nikki, her company, she doesn't even watch baseball, but she gave me tickets, and with some other people, and we were on that first base side, and they had all the food and everything in there, and so that was nice. So and that was pretty easy to see. You can right off the first base is not on the line, is on the line, but up a little bit in the what's they call it? Some kind of nice. It's a nice enclosed. You can
it's
go
enclosed.
indoor.
Oh yeah, where you can go in and get food and
you
come
can
back
get
out.
in,
That's
sit, and actually
awesome.
you can sit and still watch it indoors.
Yep.
You see everybody sitting lined up and everything. Or you can go to your seat and sit right off of first
It's
base.
like the something or other club or something. I've been.
Yeah, it's a club.
I've been
Yeah,
to
it
is
those,
a
and
club.
It's amazing.
So my daughter's company there.
So when's the last time you bought a ticket? Do you go
Last year, I think
you go around asking, do you have a ticket? I really want to go to the game.
When's the last time you bought a ticket?
Why you want to call me out?
Mr. Freeze for me. When was the last time you bought the
Yeah,
I will
that's
tell
it.
you this. Last year, I believe I did. We bought it, and we were in left field.
You said you think?
Yeah, I think I bought it, or it was given to us. One or the other. But we were on the first time ever on the left field foul pole line, right there, home in the outfield, right next to the line, and there's the TV cameras right there
goodness.
too.
That's
And it was hot, man. We were there 2 minutes. We stayed up in the shade. But it was a great seat because if there's a home run, all you had to do, or a foul ball, whatever, you're near it. So.
You could have slid down the pole.
Could have.
If you're a fireman,
But we were
slide
right
down the
there.
pole, get on
We
the
could
field.
have. We could have.
So my favorite place to sit. Okay, so there's two different things here. So first of all, my favorite place to sit in the whole world doesn't exist anymore, and that was in the green seats at Riverfront.
Yeah.
We were always shooting for two in the green. That's
Yes.
where we went. They weren't necessarily the best seats. They were the economy seats, or
Yep.
they were the seats that adults in my life had when we went. But those I remember so fondly because that's where we always sat. It was always two in the green. Every once in a while, you could get them in the blue right above the dugout.
Yes.
And that was,
okay.
you could go down above the dugout, and that was really cool. And then you could have a shot at maybe get somebody sign something or, whatever. But it was always two in the green seats, and I loved the green seats. We were usually down one line or another. Wasn't a big fan of sitting in the outfield. And I don't like being up too high. So
Same
like
here.
red seats,
yeah.
red seats were a little too much.
Yes.
My dad used to have season tickets to the Bengals, and he had them in the red seats. Now the football up high is not bad because you can kind of see everything going
Football's
and
bigger.
whatever.
Yeah.
But baseball up high, I don't care for.
It's not like being at a game.
Yeah.
Is the game
Right.
over? Why are people leaving?
So then when you switch and go to Great American, now I'm convinced there is no bad seat in Great American. That
To me,
place
there isn't.
that place has great views just about anywhere you are.
No bad seat, but dangerous seats.
Yeah.
People not watching and get hit in the head.
I do prefer the scout seats right behind home
Yes,
plate. I
yes.
love watching a game behind home plate. And the way we got those was always, there's a week, usually it's a weeknight game.
Weeknight
I'm
is
giving
the
away
best.
my secrets here. If it's a weeknight game and you wait until about 3 hours, 2 hours right before the game, and you go on to like one of these ticket sites and you see what's there.
Okay.
A lot of times you can nab those seats up for a good value. And they're still expensive, but they're not nearly what they would be if you were buying them weeks out.
Right.
And you can nab those seats up, and we've done that. I don't know how many times. I'm like, dude, let's go to a ball game. It's like, okay, and I get on. And I'm like, oh, great, we got 2 seats. Let's go. And then you go get your hot dog, and you walk right out into it. So that's probably my favorite place at Great American to watch a game is in the scout seats. Those are cool.
But I forgot. How could I forget the most popular seat is in the owner suite? That was free food, and great up. Get a chance to meet the front office individuals.
Okay.
So right there, it was great. But still, I'm watching the game, and I had to be cordial because people want to talk to me. And I want to watch the game, but the other part, I get to see the replay.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that stands out. Watching the game there compared to being at home, you can watch the replay. So what happened there? But yeah, I just, and also I watch the outfielders, seeing if they're backing up third or backing up first. A lot of those guys just standing there. Oh, I'll wait till the ball hits me. But yeah, I had fun. It was I felt great being able to back up third base, showing that I'm in shape, back up third base, and just being in there's always a place you need to be as a player. And a lot of those guys, some of them don't know, but I knew where to go, and I was excited to be able to get there.
Now, of all the guys sitting at the table, there's only one of us who may have actually ever been to the broadcast booth. Have you ever been in the broadcast booth, George?
I have, yeah.
What kind of view do they have? I'm always curious.
They have a good view, but it's dangerous because some of them don't have that window there and the foul balls come up there. And most of those guys didn't play baseball. They try to catch the ball and get hit in the head or something, but they feel good about it. Wow, this is how it feels to get hit with a baseball.
So you finished the season last year, exhausted from all the travel and the tournaments, and you tossed your gear in a bag where it's been sitting all winter. Now you're ready for another year, but your favorite glove that fits just right is an error waiting to happen. The leather's dry, the laces are brittle, and this year you're on a new team with new colors, and it sure would be cool if it matched. Well, wouldn't it be great if you had a glove guy who could help you out with that? You do. His name is Ethan, and he owns Glovehound Baseball Glove Repair Shop in Fairfield, Ohio. Just contact him at glovehound.com and upload pictures of your glove. He'll give you a call back to talk it over, and then you can send it in for a repair, relace, recondition, whatever you need. If you're in the area, you can even just stop by the shop. That way you don't have to bother with shipping, and a lot of times he can even fix it while you wait. Rawlings, Wilson, Mizuno, All-Star, Nakona, he's seen them all, and he's helped players at all levels, from beginners to pros. Last year he worked on a glove that Jose Trevino used in the World Series, and he can help you too. You can find Glovehound on Google, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at glovehound.com. You're only going to get busier, so reach out today and give your glove the love it deserves at Glovehound. All right, so the next question is this. Okay, who took you to games? Who took you to your first games as a kid?
Yeah, that was definitely mom and dad. I only went
and left you there for 3 hours.
Well, you were always a good student. We get the straight A tickets.
I forgot about that.
Free tickets.
Those were never great seats.
They were terrible seats, but they were free tickets.
They were free tickets,
Yeah.
and sometimes late in the game, especially if the Reds weren't playing so hot, which was rather often in my youth, you could kind of sneak down and find some better seats late in the game. But yeah, it was always a family affair, and I always enjoyed that. There was one time I got to go on a school night. I remember we were playing the Giants. Jeff Samardzija was pitching, but yeah, it was usually always a family affair. Always a good time.
We had a good time at the ballpark, didn't we? What about you, George? Who took you to games when you were a kid?
At the time, it's called a YMCA now, but it's called a Teen Post when I was growing up. So the Teen Post would take the kids to the ballpark, and so I think that was the first time going to. I went to watch the Dodgers and the Pirates play.
Okay.
And I remember I think Willie Davis got a base hit, and Clemente was so upset he threw the ball. I said, wow, this guy has a great arm. He threw the ball in the parking lot. And then that's when I hear sirens going off because it hit somebody's car. But I said, this guy has a great, great arm. But ironically, Clemente was in the Dodger organization. Then they didn't protect him, so he ended up going to the Pirates. But I love watching the Dodgers. Maury Wills, Willie Davis. We called Willie Davis a 3-dog. Those guys could run.
So yeah, because when you were so our baseball universe was Cincinnati when we were kids. So yours would have been Dodger Stadium.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
California.
You were a
area.
Dodgers fan growing up.
I just loved going to the game because it was free. I loved going to watch the game and just getting a chance to see the game. I mean, I love listening on TV, listen on radio because Vin Scully.
Yeah, you don't get any better than Vin Scully.
Vin Scully and Jerry Doggett. So and then when I started playing, I got a chance to meet those guys. So it's like a dream come true other than meeting Willie Mays. But I called him the golden voice of baseball, Vince Scully and Jerry Doggett.
Yeah, those guys were great. What about you, Rick? Who took you to the games when you were a kid?
My dad, of course, and then my grandma Jenny. She loved baseball.
Jenny?
Yeah, my grandma Jenny, man, she loved baseball, and we had a aunt Daisy, and Daisy, she loved baseball, man. So those three people, yeah.
I remember the two main people who took me to baseball when I was a kid was my dad and my Aunt Linda. She was awesome. We went lots of different places. I've talked about her before. And we went and took in games together, and that was a lot of fun. She was the reason why I was a Johnny Bench fan, because she was a Johnny Bench fan. And that's where I first started, learn about him and whatever. And then when I got interested in catching, I was like, this is it. This is it,
That's cool.
But those were great days. I always remember going to the ballpark because we lived north of Dayton. So it was a whole day. Like you had to get up in the morning. Yes. You drove all the way to Cincinnati, and then a lot of times she would take us someplace cool. Like we'd go through the 580 gift shop for a while, or we'd go, through
it's like a tour.
Reds Hall of Fame, something, we'd see something cool while we were down there. And then we would take in the game. And then by the time it's over, you're driving home. I mean, it's a whole day thing.
Yes, it is.
And man, I just could not think of a better day. It was one of my favorite things.
But it's usually a great weekend because most of the time the fans come and stay a whole weekend. Mm-hmm. And long before Ethan's time, they had the Sheraton Gibson. That was the place that people would go. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there were lines around the block just to get in.
Yeah.
And so I learned that not to get on a floor higher than the fourth floor because I would never get on the elevator. So at least I can take the stairs. But one time, mistakenly, I think I was on like the 10th floor, so I got in shape going up and down the stairs.
One of the fun things my Aunt Linda, she would take binoculars. And so that was always fun. Is you're getting squirrely as a kid. She's like, "Here, use these, man. I'm looking at everybody. I'm looking at the game. I'm looking at
signs.
We were taking care of everything. She had this one cool set of binoculars that also had a camera in it. It was really cool.
Wow.
So like you'd be looking, and if you wanted to, you could snap a photo. It was the coolest thing. But yeah, we used to take the binoculars and sometimes she'd take and listen to Marty and Joe while we were sitting there. Yeah, and that was always cool.
Do that.
we always preferred anytime you could hear Marty and Joe over top of anything else. I mean, it was just cool.
It wasn't baseball without listening to them.
Yeah. And back then, that's the other thing is the things at the ballpark that were such a preference. Like I prefer the organ player at the ballpark. I'm so glad that they do that now over like pre-recorded music. I'm much a bigger fan of some guy up there just playing the stuff and doing the thing. And that's so much more fun than a bunch of pre-recorded music. And then they would, we would always wait until they'd play the charge. We'd charge.
Yeah, that would just be fun.
It was fun. Yeah, it was a great day. A
great day at the ballpark.
Always remember that very fondly. Those were great days. Okay, so who taught you how to watch a game? Who taught you what you were looking at?
That's a good one.
For me, it was the same thing. It was going with Dad, and I don't know. It just with
naturally.
I mean,
just naturally.
Just with learning the game, and when you can tell a kid, all you want how it works, but watching it on TV, you can kind of get an idea for it. But when you're at the ballpark, you can point out so many different things. So him being able to point out, what the catcher is doing, where he's going, why he's going there, and that kind of thing. And then also just learning about keeping score and that kind of thing. So yeah, definitely Dad on that one.
What about you, George?
Well, keeping score, that's a plus. I would encourage parents when they take their kids to the ballpark, have them to keep score so they can really get involved in the game. I remember my daughter at the time, she's probably like 30, and she said, "Dad, I want to learn how to keep score." And I said, that's great, because I didn't really know that she was really into the game as much, just to keep score. And I said, okay, I hope I know how to keep score.
Yes.
So I don't want some strange play to come up and I don't know how to score this. But I think the director of the Teen Post, they would tell the kids, we're here to have fun, but also to learn. Now find out which player. Look at your position. Okay, that guy's playing left field. See what he's doing. So focus on what position you have, and then follow that guy. So now you can learn from that. And I mean, this is the major league, the highest level. So this is what they're doing. So find out what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I guess the Teen Post director.
That's cool. What about you?
For me, it's just naturally, just pregame
Inborn.
and just naturally just following the game, man.
He came out keeping score.
But I used to always liked how they kept score and then would still watch the game and stuff. So it was pretty unique to see people that were, and you looked at their score, I'm like, man, you did pretty good.
Right.
How organized they were and stuff, how they understood, especially women.
Yeah, my
Truthfully,
mom
especially
kept
women,
score.
man. Yes.
Yeah, I got to go back and look at the scores. Maybe I can change a few hits in there. But yeah.
Yeah, especially women. And so my mother-in-law, she used to have a softball team, and we talked a lot about watching the game. I used to watch the game with her, and so that's why I stayed in the family so long. But
I like that, Rick. Yeah.
yeah, we talked baseball. She was a Dodgers fan. My grandmother was a Dodgers fan too, and so watching the game, taught you how to watch the game, talk about the game and different players and plays, and
Well, and that's, Ethan talked about learning things that I would have taught him. Well, those are things my dad taught me and the people that I went.
Pass it down.
My Aunt Linda, my mom, both were very good at keeping score. My mom kept score for the church softball team for years. She was very good at keeping score. And so everybody, my dad would keep score if we went to a game. It's just something we always learned to do. So teaching me to keep score also kept a squirrely kid with something to do. So that was good.
Yeah.
And so we would do that. But at the same time, my dad was really good at explaining to me why things happened. And so I'd be like, well, so why did that happen? Or why did that happen? Or he would say, okay, so now that was an error on this guy, and that he got charged with an error because of this,
Right.
Or that was, this pitcher is now the winner, or this guy now
That's
got
good.
the save, or this guy, and that can be, which pitcher wins and which pitcher gets the save can be very confusing.
That's
it
the
is.
challenging one.
Yes, that is challenging.
But to explain, okay, well, this is why this rule that came into play here, and that's why that guy was safe, or that's why that guy was out,
Right.
or that's why, And so I was a very inquisitive child, and he was always willing to explain things to me as it went. And that was really cool because now you weren't just sitting there in the hot sun baking,
Right.
waiting for more popcorn.
When is the
You were
game
just,
over?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were just doing something. And Ethan had he asked more questions than any child I have ever known in my life.
More than you?
Oh my gosh. When he was probably 3 years old.
Why is the
he used
ball
to-
round?
Oh, he used to ask me questions. Hey, Dad.
How many
hey, Dad,
stitches on the ball?
Hey, Dad, guess what? Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. All the time. And so we got to the point where I would limit him. I'd say, you get 3 questions today. That's it. And so he would be like, Dad, yes, okay. And he would like try and figure out how to ask me
Yes.
something without a big
part one
question.
and part two.
Yeah. Because he didn't want to blow all his questions in one shot. So yeah, he
cool.
asked a lot of questions. That's why he got a lot of answers. But yeah, I think it's that relationship you have with the adults in your life that pass that down to you. That's one of the
Yeah.
reasons why baseball is so special, I think. Is
It
that
is.
Pastime, yeah.
It's something
a
that's passed down from person to person.
It forces you to think. It forces you to use your mind. And it forces you
Strategize.
at strategize, thinking 2 and 3 steps ahead of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what's missing in how to teach the game to this new generation of, because no matter what generation, baseball is still played the same. You still need outs. You still need to throw strikes.
Those
You still-
rules don't change.
Yeah, they don't change. They
Well,
don't
I
change.
think also the advent of video games has changed a lot of things because your generation, you guys learned a lot of things by playing video games.
Yeah, I learned a lot of
MLB.
things. Yeah.
show.
Automatic.
And we didn't have video games at our house, but when I went
There's
to
a reason for that.
but when I went
Yeah,
when I went to friends' houses, obviously we would play. And then once I got to high school and I bought my own thing and whatever. But my best friend, he had MLB 2K11. I don't know why. That's the one he had. So that's what we played.
Okay.
I played so much MLB 2K11. So learning different players and that kind of thing, and then learning how to that was really helpful with pitch sequencing. To be
Yes.
honest, because you in a game, how the ball's supposed to move, and in real life you can't always make it move the same every way, but trying to set them up and have some intention with why you're choosing what pitches.
Right,
And
right.
I don't know. I think it was very advantageous for me learning the game. The other thing about playing a video game is when you have an option, you want to use it. Like the whole, why did you do it? Well, because I could. So like if you can steal a base, you want to.
Right.
So you're always trying to steal. You're always bunting, even if it doesn't call for it, just because you can.
Right.
So learning some strategy there, seeing if you can make your guy take off for second and have the guy from third run home and try to, get in a pick, all that kind of stuff. And now I've heard a lot of it's kind of traveling up and a lot of simulation and that kind of stuff is happening at the major league collegiate level, and they're starting to use that to learn the game, which is interesting.
Yes, they are. But what we're all talking about, these are things that should help kids today. And I think
Be more
if they could-
engaged.
yes, be engaged, be more creative. When my teams was coming up, I'll let my catcher call a game.
Yeah.
Help them think, help them fail, help them grow through the failure, help them understand that, hey man, you 0-2, why you throwing that
Right,
thing
right.
right here?
Yeah.
This, but through failure, they'll learn. And I always ask kids, do they play MLB the game and stuff like that. From 2011 to now, the graphics, I'm sure, has changed a lot.
Yeah, not as much as you
Not
think.
as much,
It
okay.
wasn't. It really wasn't bad for 2011. But I like what you're saying about creativity, because if you're playing the video game, you make every decision. But when you're out on the field, if the coach makes every decision, it is kind of suppressing that.
This is
creativity.
why
I like that.
This is why I talk to a lot of coaches, and they say a lot of kids don't know the game. They know the game, but they're not getting a lot of leeway to fail. You know what I'm saying?
to
Because
try it
everybody's
out in
trying
real
to
life.
control
Yeah,
everything, and even
Become so robotic.
yes, they don't think. So this is probably why a lot of kids don't talk the game. I grew up, we talk the game. It's all like being on a basketball court. You hear language, you hear this and that, but we talk the game. And then when we went to play the game out in baseball, it helped us think 2 and 3 steps ahead of the game without we able to react.
Yeah.
There's certain
Yeah.
things I learned that I want that play to happen so I can do it during the game.
Yes.
So I'm, of course, playing left field. The ball's hit down the line. Some guys go in differently. So I'm watching Willie Mays. He's going to go in backhanded and then step behind and crow hop and throw to whatever base.
Right.
But other guys, they don't. Or down the right field line, I catch it and spin.
Spin. Yes.
But the guy's rounding first base thinking that, okay, he has second automatic. But I'm in a position to make that throw.
right.
So, but being able to utilize that in a game situation, that's exciting because I saw that. I saw Willie Mays do it. I saw
Yeah.
Bobby Bonds or somebody else would do it.
Yeah, and a quick mention too. Last week when you guys did the clinic, we all came together and these guys put on a clinic last Wednesday for a local team. And shout out to Coach Jimmy and the team. You guys,
Coach Jimmy.
hope you're listening.
Jimmy.
These kids were going from station to station, and they went over and they were talking about outfielding. And George was working with them on outfielding, and then they moved on to another station. They were standing. I went over and I was talking to him. I said, "Let me ask you a question." I said, "Have you ever thought that much about outfielding in your life?" And they're like, "No." Like you could see the steam coming out their ears. Like they had no idea there was that much to talk about when it came to
They're
outfielding.
thinking that, the bad fielders go in the outfield,
No.
They're the last line of defense.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I'll tell you what, you talk about a great bunch of kids.
Yes, they were.
Some
They are.
really good coaches and some
Yes.
fantastic parents. It
Yes.
was
Oh, yeah.
it was a lot of fun, and I look forward to doing more of those with you guys. That was really cool.
fun.
That was cool.
And afterwards, I get a lot of texts and even I went to their opening day on Saturday that I posted. It was packed. You had to park 2 and 3 blocks away.
Oh my
That's
goodness,
how
that's
how
fantastic.
packed it was.
That's
man.
fantastic.
I
Didn't
mean,
have valet. I'm not going there. Valet.
I had parents say they had to park in friends' parking in their driveways. Yeah,
Wow.
call them up like, hey, can we park in your truck till the game is over? It's like, yeah, come on.
Talk about
by.
a couple episodes ago, we were making the case for rec ball. Man, that's good to see happening.
Oh man,
that's
it
good to
was
see happening.
packed.
That's awesome.
It was.
That's
packed.
good to hear.
That's
Yes,
awesome.
it was.
So, okay, next question is, what is something that you look forward to when you go to the ball game?
For me, this was you get to see athletes in person. You can watch all the highlights
Yeah,
you want.
yeah, I
but
agree.
until you're in
Yes.
person, you can't appreciate it. So the first one I remember specifically is getting to watch Billy Hamilton run. Because you see him run on TV, but you see the pitcher throw it, and then you see the last, 5 steps of him, and then the catcher makes the tag. But seeing him run in person was unreal.
Yes.
That guy was so fast.
Run, Billy, run.
And then last year, getting to see Ellie De La Cruz, he is so much taller than you think he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he
yeah.
is.
Like he looks tall on TV, but then you see him in person, and it's like, holy crap, this guy is huge. and getting to watch him run too is just
Yes.
incredible.
I know Ellie is tall, but I was standing next to Aaron Judge. Like, wow, this
Oh my
guy.
goodness.
This guy's
He's
put
tall
together.
and thick, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
And
Yes.
then the game that we went to this year, Matt Chapman was playing third base.
Oh,
And
I like the way he
getting
feels,
to watch
man.
him play
Oh,
was
man.
really cool. And
Yes.
then last but not least was in that game against the Giants, Matt McClain and Ellie De La Cruz turned 3 double plays.
Yeah.
So watching them turn the double
Right,
plays
yeah,
was
right.
it was
Yes.
incredible, and it was a different way they did it every single time, and it was flawless. It
Bang,
was
bang.
so cool to watch. And then this another thing was watching everybody move as a unit. They say
Right.
like
A
what is
chess
it?
game.
Well, they say it has
Yeah,
like
like
the
a chess
team. The
game.
team has one breath or one
Yes.
rhythm.
One rhythm.
That's exactly what I mean. It was nobody was like looking around. Everybody just knew exactly where to go.
Where they going to be?
Yeah, the
Yes.
I can remember trying to learn outfield cutoffs in high school, and it was so choppy and unnatural. It like the first baseman's just falling in line,
Yeah.
like it's nothing.
With that-
Third baseman's falling in line, shortstop's already there at third. Like
Yeah.
it was just
Yeah.
so cool to watch, so fluid.
Yeah,
Muscle memory.
yeah,
That's
muscle
great.
memory.
What about you, George? What do you look forward to when you go to the ball game?
I look forward to getting there early and watch batting practice.
Thank you.
There you go.
Same
You
here.
don't get a chance to see a guy maybe swing the bat much during the game, but watching batting practice. I remember when I lived in Connecticut and had retired, I would go watch the Mets, watch them take batting practice. Then I go home and watch the game. So because there was a certain guy I wanted to watch. He's going to get about 20, 25 swing, so I get a chance to see that. But if you watch it on TV, the guy may get like say four or 5 swings. But taking batting practice and actually being down on the field, being able to watch them take batting practice. So that's a fun part for me.
Yeah.
What about you, Rick?
Same with me too. So when I took my boys, especially Ricky, since he played baseball the longest, taught him how batting practice is done. First round, everybody goes right side, bam, bam, bam.
Bunt,
Second
yeah.
round, then bunt or line drive. Second round, boom, back up the middle. You see everybody. That third round, everybody. Then you see the guys cranking. they teeing off. So just really showing the hitting dynamics, but
Right.
how the approach to hitting is, and so that's always fun. And then just in between innings, just how fluid everybody takes infield or ground ball work or how they
yeah.
throw.
Yeah, there's no balls going all
Yes,
over the
yes,
place.
there's no,
Right.
just ground ball work and stuff like that. So,
But that was fun too. But they don't take infield now. But I love watching infield. But not only the the infield per se, but the fungo hitter.
Yeah. Oh.
And how accurate he is.
Yeah. Oh man.
And
yes.
that was fun watching that. But back to watching the game now as a spectator, watching batting practice. I did the same thing when I played, but that's for strategy. So in batting practice, the guy's going to show you his true swing. So if he's hitting line drive, so they say this guy's a pull hitter. I say, does he pull in the air, pull on the ground? It makes a big difference where you're going to play. So now when the game starts, I already know. I laugh at these guys every inning. They have to look at this card where to play somebody.
Yeah,
and they're saying these guys supposed to be bigger, stronger, faster, but I don't know about smarter. Because but we would before a game, the first game of that series, we look at the card and it tells us where the guy should play. Say, but you got to change as get more strikes on him.
Right.
So we memorize that. But these guys, we don't have to memorize this. I'll just look at the card. So, but it's a little different now than before. Like we use the word robotic, so they're more robotic.
Yes.
But taking batting practice and watching batting practice and watching infield play.
There you go. My thing, I look forward to trying to guess the game call from the catcher. So my thing was I'm watching the catcher like crazy, and I'm trying to guess what pitch he's going to call next.
Yes.
And then you watch
That's
them,
fun.
they're shaking it off, and they're back in there trying to figure out, whatever. And then you see the pitch, and you're like, okay. And it can be really challenging in person because there's no little thing that pops up on the screen and tells you what that pitch was. And so, when you're a kid, you basically know, all right, that came in really fast. That was a curveball, and anything else just moved. It's like
pitch recognition.
But learning to do, and then being behind as a grown up, I've been able to get those seats behind the plate, and I love watching the ball move. They used to, when you would see it on television, remember they used to show the behind the umpire camera more often. Now they don't ever show that hardly at all. But they used to show it more regularly, and you could see the ball move when they would throw it. It's deceptive when you're behind the pitcher all the time looking at that camera, and he throws, and a lot of times it looks like it moves like this across the plate when it's really going up from up to down. And so when you're in there and you're watching it move, you're like, holy crap, that thing really moves.
Yeah, I definitely like to play the pitch guessing game when I'm watching it on TV. But one thing I would say, when you watch it on TV,
especially Greg Maddux.
Oh yeah, goodness.
It's always over the pitcher's right shoulder. Even if he's left-handed, it's still over the right shoulder. Okay. And so I've watched Nick Lodolo pitch on TV, and it's like, okay, cool, it's Nick Lodolo, he's left-handed, whatever. I saw him in game, and that his motion looks so much different because I was up and behind the plate. I could see the motion from the other side.
Yeah. Okay.
And so sometimes when you watch lefties throw on TV, it doesn't look like it moves much. I know whenever Pitching Ninja will show his will call out lefties for pitches that moved a lot. Sometimes he's like, no, I know it doesn't look like it, but it actually moved this much. You just can't see it. So getting to see lefties in person is definitely a different
and when you're a little kid and you're watching it and you see how hard that ball comes in, and you see how much it moves, you are immediately realizing this game is a completely different level that I have never seen before. And it was really cool. The other thing was, and this is a goofy thing, but being a musician, it's a lot of what has to do in life. A lot of the memorable things in life for me are what you hear. And I miss the days when they used to call the player's name and repeat their last name. They used to do it all the time. Johnny Bench. Yeah. Bench. They would always say it. And they don't do it anymore. And this was before the days of walk-up music and all that nonsense. They just call their name and repeat their last name, and you were like, yes, that's what we're doing. And,
Dodger Stadium did that a lot. And of course, Yankee Stadium did that a lot.
Because whenever we would play in the backyard, if we were pretending to be the announcer, we would always do that. You'd always call the person's last name twice.
Derek Jeter.
Yeah, it was always one of those fun things. So trying to outguess the pitcher and trying to figure out how the catcher was calling the game. Yeah, that was probably one of the things I look forward to.
Another thing I looked at is predicting the play. Yeah. So a guy just hit the ball to second base, and so now we're going to say, okay, this guy's going to make an out, but will he pop it up? Will he hit a ground ball? So it really keeps you into the game. But I think the main thing is seeing if the guy's going to make the adjustment.
Right.
So he just got jammed. So now is he going to make an adjustment? Or has to go order more bats, or what?
And when we were at Riverfront, if you were down first base line, the big thing was trying to guess if he was going to steal. Like, when's he going to go?
Right,
when's he going to go? Is it? And they'd throw back over, and that was when you could throw over as many times as you want. And so sometimes that would really turn into a little battle there for a while, and then you boom, okay, he's going to go, and then he goes. It's like that's cool.
I know that would have helped us in the World Series against 72 World Series against Oakland. So Blue Moon Odom, he kept throwing over the first, and he finally picked Morgan off, or he got thrown out at second. But now you're limited to 3 throws.
Yeah.
So, but it would have been our advantage. But they took advantage of the fact that it kept throwing, and they were patient, and it wore us down.
That's cool. Our last question in this section is what do you pay close attention to when you're watching a game at the ballpark? And we've talked about this a little bit in this thing, but something that you're keying in on, like you say, okay, if this happens, then I know this game is headed in this direction or that direction. Like, what is it, the thing that you really pay closest attention to?
Now I pay more attention to defensive positioning and people who are not involved in the play, but that's mainly because of this podcast and the appreciation I have for that now. Before it was, I'm going to look where the ball is every single time. But I would say in previous games, it's just watching the fluidity of a fielder field the ball. I don't know. It's just because you're when you're in the stands, you're not as keyed in on pitcher batter. And so you're watching more. To me, you're watching more defense happen.
Yeah, you're right. You are.
And so watching just how natural. They're not thinking about their mechanics.
They just move. It just happens. Yeah. That's why I said thinking 2 and 3 steps ahead of, okay, ball hit the left field. We got a man on second base. Okay, boom. I know where I'm going to be at.
And then the other thing I would say is watching the flight of the ball. There's nothing like seeing that in person. You don't realize
that
how
line drive.
That or how high some of those pop-ups get hit. I mean, when you're in the second deck and you see it come up to eye level and you're like, man, if I was on that field, I don't know if I could catch that fly ball. But yeah, watching the flight of the ball is always impressive as well.
Anything else stick out as something you really pay attention to?
Well, 2 things stick out. One, like Ethan was talking about, I'd like to see if the outfielders more so make the adjustment according to how many strikes the batter has, or if the guy, a right-hander's fouling everything, he's late on the ball, will they move towards right field or stay straight away? And more times than none, they just stay in the same place. And then if they were to move a couple of steps, they had a chance to catch the ball that was hit to them. And the other one is the route that they're taking. And right away, you're knowing that, okay, the left hand hit the ball, more times than none is going to hook towards the left field line, and opposite with the right-hander. But I see a ball hit the right field, and the right field is going towards center. And then now he has to regroup. Fraley he made that adjustment. He ended up making a catch. But I see these guys, they don't know the correct routing on there.
They don't.
And then we talked about the spin play. You got to be spinning as you catch the ball, not catching it then spin. No. So they got to go to ballroom dancing, I guess, to learn
coordination.
Their
coordination.
Their coordination.
Their footwork.
But baseball is about choreography, the movement out there. That I would maybe focus on and say if it is a Dela Cruz or a guy who's a great outfielder, seeing this movement, why does he get a good jump on the ball? If he had the crossover step, he has the drop step. So mechanically, I really would focus on.
I agree. What I would do is that and I'm just talking about my own son, since he played outfield and infield.
What's his name?
I think it's
Ricky.
Junior. What I would do is the things that I see in a game, we'll go and work with it at home in practice. So I always hit a lot of fly balls and different angles and, different routes and things like that, because it's going to happen in the game. So the more times you do that, those movements become natural to them.
Yeah.
Okay. they react to it and things. And then just like infield, same thing, a lot of ground balls. My nephew the other day made a play. He plays 13U. And I haven't seen a play like that in a long time. He went in a hole, barehanded it, and threw the kid out in the hole.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Did
We
you
got
teach-
it on video.
Did you
Huh?
teach him that? Did you teach him that?
Well, I, the last person I seen out of my family make that play was my son Ricky. Seriously, and I was like, man. And I was like, whoa, it gave me goosebumps. I was like, man, that play is nice. So you can hear the audio, and people said, man, I wouldn't have did that with my But again, those instincts, those natural instincts and things that happen, you don't think they have, because you practice it so much, it just happens. You don't think about it.
Well, positioning. You've been in the right place to be able to make that
Just
play.
like, again, when George was saying about going in the corner and making that reverse throw to the infield, man, and all in one motion, man. That's a beautiful play, man. When it's done, man.
That's styling.
Yeah, that's a beautiful play. So
I learned early on. My dad taught me that if you want to know what's going on in the baseball game, there are three people to watch. You watch the center fielder, the shortstop, and the catcher. Mm-hmm. And those are the guys calling the shots on the field.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that I'm watching. I'm watching the center fielder captain the outfield.
Yes.
I'm watching the shortstop captain the infield, and I'm watching the catcher look over everybody. And I was always, especially as a catcher, I was always interested in how to best lead a team. How can I be that leader for my team and be helpful? Not just a guy who's back there popping off about stuff, but actually, helping the team.
Right.
And so by watching those guys do what they do, if you've never done that at a game, it's fascinating to see all the communication that goes on during a game, and the fact that the outfielders are communicating with each other. The center fielder is the guy who calls whether he's got the ball or he doesn't have the ball, or whatever's going on, or if you're converging on a play and what it's one guy's job to call people off or say what he's got or whatever.
Yeah.
Those are the captains to look at, and that's what I always keyed in on. So if you watch the center fielder, the shortstop, and the catcher, then you get a good overall view of what's going on the field.
Yeah, for us, being in the outfield, it's like, say we look at how the guy is swinging the bat, and I watch Geronimo, he's going to move left or right. So we don't want to have a big gap that's there. Right. And so, but he would a lot of times gesture where I'm moving towards right field, and so Griff sometimes played center field, but it was just fun because everything was flowing so well, so fluidly. So it made it fun, and like you say, watching the infielders. So I watched Davey would move up the middle or move to his right. And when I was playing center field, a few times I watched the catcher sitting outside or sitting inside. So it doesn't really matter a lot of time to pitch, but I'm looking at he wants that ball away.
Right.
So it helped me to get a one or two steps jump.
Ethan is more than my podcast partner. He's my son. And like every baseball parent, my first priority was his development as a player. Every year, we'd start out with a new coach and a new team, making new promises, only to end up playing the same old tournaments with little to no practice in between. You know what I'm talking about. That's why I'm so thankful that we found MD&I Academy. I first met Coach Rick over a decade ago when Ethan was just a kid, and I'll never forget the relief I felt watching his first lesson. I knew right then that no matter what team he played for, my son would have amazing, consistent instruction from someone who cared. Rick has trained baseball and softball players at the select, travel, and even college levels, so I knew that Ethan could continue his excellence through training approach for his whole baseball career. He learned hitting, pitching, catching, fielding, and more all in one place. Most of all, he learned to love the greatest game in the world and how to play it with character and integrity. MD&I is a first-class facility with plenty of tunnels for hitting and pitching instruction that open up into large areas for teaching fielding, base running, speed, and agility. They even have a weight room for strength training. So if you're wearing yourself out running all over town to multiple teachers, or worse, you're counting on that new select coach to actually develop your child, You need to check out MD&I Academy today. Go to mdaiacademy.com and contact Coach Rick to learn how you can get all the baseball instruction you need from someone who cares about your favorite player as much as you do at MD&I Academy. All right, so today we are going to launch into it. Who's the Hero didn't work for this one, so we're calling it Fun Fan Facts today. We're talking about trivia that has to do with ballparks and ballpark food and ballpark traditions. And I am loaded for bear on this.
You won one episode and I won another.
I was going to say
this
that.
is for all the marbles.
This is what I was going to say. Somebody is 0-2. I don't know who it is.
Oh, man.
We got
I'm
one.
2 for
We got
2.
one.
Man, I'm 2 for 2.
All right,
Played his own game.
This will decide who is the
Season 1
world
Hey,
champion
Don't
of
give
the
a
first
bonus question if he doesn't win.
the world champion of the first half of season 1. There you go. That's how this goes. All right. So, question number 1. In a significant game from George's career, the president of the United States threw out 2 first pitches, one with his right hand and one with his left.
Ford.
What was the game and who was the president? Ford was the president.
I
was
don't know
the
what game.
Was it opening day?
It was not opening day.
It was not
was
opening
closing day?
So was it World Series?
It was not a World Series.
You can't ask questions. So do I get a half a point?
You get half a point for that.
And
We'll make this one worth 2
I knew it
points.
was-
Zero.
I knew it was
This will be
4.
this one worth
I
2
knew it
points. So
was
George
4.
got one of the 2. So once again, in a
Was it
significant
the All-Star game?
it was an
1976
It was
All-Star
the
game?
1976 All-Star game.
No, that's
Yes.
you're not allowed to ask questions.
Well,
So you guys split that one. It's one apiece. Are you
okay,
keeping? Why don't you keep score here?
I kind of gave him.
Yeah, 'cause you're not-
Hold on. I kind of.
No, wait a minute. Keep our score because you don't need to keep yours.
I kind of helped you guys with it by saying.
There you go. All right. This stadium, okay,
Yankee Stadium.
was the very first domed stadium ever built in Major League Baseball.
Astros.
It was the Astrodome.
I said
One for Rick.
No,
One for Rick.
it's a tie.
It's a tie. Okay, here we go. Now,
Remember that
follow-up
one.
question. A product was installed there by necessity that has changed baseball forever.
Turf.
That's true.
Absolutely. Artificial turf
Let's
was
go to another
installed
question.
at the Astrodome, which is
Yes.
why to this
It's
day we
called
call it
the AstroTurf.
AstroTurf.
Oh,
Did you
I
know
didn't
that?
know that?
Yeah,
That's
I
exactly
did.
why.
Astro.
I did.
That's exactly why. Okay. This ubiquitous ballpark food was invented by an Army veteran named Frank Liberto.
Hot dogs.
Nope.
French fries.
And it debuted at a Texas Rangers game in 1976. Today, this stadium staple is served at
Nachos.
sporting events all over the world. What is this famous
Nachos.
food? And it is nachos.
Because
Frank,
it's
this is funny.
Mexican.
Frank Liberto invented nacho cheese. He invented a cheese sauce. His family
Ethan would know that.
His family had a food business, and he invented a cheese sauce that could be served quickly at ballparks. And so it was there, and so they would serve it and with the jalapenos on the side at the Rangers game, and that's where nachos came
Hey,
from.
in a minute, it's going to be 1-1-1.
No, it's 3-1-1.
You're
three.
tearing it up today.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Originally opening in 1912, this major league ballpark has the shortest center field distance
Polagraph.
at
Evans Field.
390 feet. It is the oldest MLB
190.
stadium that is still in
Wrigley
use.
Field? No,
No.
is it Fenway?
It is Fenway.
There we go.
It is Fenway Park.
He didn't even know. He wasn't
I got
round.
it. I got it.
Okay.
Oh, that's 3-2-1.
You
All
said
right.
polo grass for the shortest center field.
I'm
was huge.
gonna save this one for later because
No,
this
I
one
want-
is really tough.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that one.
This one's really tough.
Wait a minute. Put the mirror up so I can see. You should wear glasses so I can see.
Okay, so the longest game by time that fans ever had to endure was a contest between 2 American League teams in 1984 that lasted 8 hours and 6 minutes, spanning 25 innings, and ended at
Detroit Tigers, Chicago White Sox.
3:30 in the morning Who were the teams? White Sox was one.
Was the Rangers?
Boston.
No Rangers. White Sox and the Oakland A's.
Orioles. Blue Jays. Seattle Mariners. Let's see.
No, not the Angels. They don't play that long. They lose early. Kansas City.
They're not in the American League anymore.
Oh, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee
It was Milwaukee Brewers. Point for George.
What's it? 3-3-2.
Point for George.
2-3-3.
Okay, here's a more recent one for you, Ethan. A fan at Dodger Stadium did this
Morgana.
4 times in a single game in
Catch up.
2018,
Catch foul ball.
Was it Zach
Yeah.
catch a
Campbell?
foul
Yeah,
ball,
I knew it. I knew that.
beating
I knew that one.
astronomical odds estimated at 1 in 1 trillion.
Huh.
They estimated
Trillion.
that it was 1 in 1 trillion odds that one guy catches 4 foul balls in a game.
Was it Zach Campel? Or
I don't know. It was a fan.
It's just a fan.
It's a fan. We didn't
Yeah.
get a name.
Foul balls.
4
Yeah.
foul balls in a game. Okay.
Rick wanted to know, was he in fair territory?
The K signs displayed by fans for strikeouts originated with the fans of this National League team to
Dodgers.
show support for their star pitcher.
Texas Rangers. Angels.
Mariners.
National League team.
New York Mets.
Pirates.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tom Seaver.
And why did
Yep,
they use
Tom Seaver.
Why did they use a K? Who were they backing?
Dwight Gooden.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. It
That's
was
a bonus.
Dwight Gooden.
I was gonna say you should know
that
because you
is,
were
that
playing
is.
there when
I
that
was
started.
there.
I
You
wasn't
were
looking
there.
at it. I wasn't looking at the K's. I'm just glad I wasn't facing them.
All right. This infamous ballpark once had an in-stadium courthouse and jail cell to process
yes.
rowdy fans, primarily at football games, immediately after
The
incidents.
Coliseum?
That's
Oakland
good.
Coliseum?
Yes.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh, this place is infamous for having
Washington
fan issues.
National
No.
Redskins.
I can't.
Oh.
Somebody in Philadelphia, somewhere in Philadelphia. I don't know the stadium.
Veterans.
No.
Veterans. It was Veterans
It was
Stadium.
Veterans
Yes,
So,
I knew it was.
You guys can split a point if you want.
No. I want you guys
No,
just split.
We'll split it. We'll split it.
Take a hike.
It was called Eagles Court.
Eagles Court.
And if you got nailed for doing
I was gonna
something,
say
they would
Lincoln.
process
And you get
right there at the
nachos.
stadium.
Yeah.
Okay, this famous stadium was the last one to install lights for night games.
Wrigley Field.
Chicago.
It was Wrigley Field.
Yes.
It's not Chicago. It's the name of the field, not the city.
I know.
It held out until 1988, and ironically, the first night game got rained out after 3.5 innings and had to be played during the next day.
And guess what?
what?
I have the picture in my
No.
Indian eye on
No
the
way.
wall. Yes,
No
I
way.
do.
That's
Yep.
funny.
I found it at a Goodwill.
Oh, goodness.
Yes.
That's funny.
Yep, found it at a
That's
Goodwill.
famous.
Level swing. Let it travel. Wait for your pitch. Be aggressive out there. It's no wonder young players get confused at the plate. What if your son or daughter could learn not only how to hit the ball, but also where to hit it, when to hit it there, and why? George Foster has played baseball at the very highest levels. He was the National League MVP when he hit 52 home runs and 149 RBIs in a single season. He led the major leagues in home runs twice and RBIs 3 times. He was a 5-time All-Star, a Silver Slugger, and he helped the Reds win back-to-back World Series. During his 15-year career, George developed a unique approach to hitting that made him one of the greatest hitters of all time, and now your favorite player can learn it too. That's right, baseball legend George Foster is currently accepting new students. Learn the psychology of hitting, situational hitting, hitting for power, bunting, and more. Every team needs players who can hit, and George explains the game in a way that's easy to understand and exciting to learn. So check out GeorgeFosterBaseball.com to learn how you can apply for private lessons with a member of the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame. Spots are limited, and the roster will fill up fast, so don't wait. Apply at GeorgeFosterBaseball.com. All right, let's see. Okay, so
I'm on the roll. What I got 10.
what's
now?
our score, Ethan?
I got 10.
I've got 2. George has 6. Rick has 4.
Okay.
What? I thought you had 3.
All right, here we go.
I got 6? Woo-wee.
Nationals Park features a massive 3-pound burger named after one of their players.
Adam Dunn.
Fans who can finish it within the allotted innings receive a commemorative T-shirt and their photo on the stadium's Wall of Fame. What is it called?
Is it a pass player?
Is it the big donkey?
Oh,
De Soto?
Keep going. It's a 3-pound
he plays for
Harper?
burger.
Harper, yeah. No. Oh.
Is it a current player for a current player?
I
Or a
don't-
past
No.
player?
Couldn't be a current.
It is a 3-pound burger.
Burger. Who's Burger? There's a burger.
There's a Jake.
B-E.
There's a Jake Burger,
Yeah,
but he
Jake
doesn't.
Burger.
he doesn't
Jake-
play for
But
the
he don't
Nationals.
play no more. Yeah.
Look it up. You got it.
Nah,
He's
Burger.
a pitcher, or was a pitcher.
I don't.
A 3-pound burger named after one of
Something
their
is
pitchers.
there. There's a hint there. 3.
Scherzer. No.
No, the burger.
The Scherzer.
it's not. Oh, Mark. It's not
No.
Mark Burley.
No, what's that? The right-hander that always getting hurt.
Strasburg.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
But what's the name of the burger?
The Strasburg.
The Strasburger.
There you go.
Yes, I was
Ethan
going to say the
gets it.
Strasburger.
It's called the Strasburger.
Did I get a 4th of a pound?
3 pounds of burger.
3 pounds. Wow.
And if you eat it, you get on the Wall of Fame and a commemorative
Yeah.
T-shirt.
And 911.
Real.
Okay, here we go.
Getting juicy now.
Last question.
Wait a minute. What's the score?
I don't know. I think you're winning.
Rick.
Barely.
Barely. No, it's Strasburger.
Okay, in 1908,
Oh, yeah. I remember that year.
vaudeville performers Jack Norworth and Albert Von Tilzer collaborated to create a piece of
Fred Astaire.
baseball history.
Take me. out to
Ironically, neither one of them had ever attended a baseball game, and yet their contribution is alive and well today. What did these two men contribute to the game?
National
we
anthem.
love?
I think you just had it.
Yeah, I did.
What'd you
Take
say?
me out to the ball.
Yeah.
Take me out to the ball game.
That's pretty
Yeah. That was
good. That's
good.
pretty good right there.
Yeah.
Now, do you know that what we know as "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" is only the chorus,
Right.
and there are also
Yes,
verses
Really?
that tell the story of some lady who loves baseball, and
I think I seen that on a documentary. The guy that does it, all those documentaries all the time. Because I watch it
Was
on
it
the
Ken
History
Burns
Channel.
with the-
Yeah, Ken
yeah.
Burns.
Oh, Ken Burns,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, so basically, Jack Norworth is riding on a New York City subway, and he sees an ad for a game at the Polo Grounds, and he starts writing the lyrics in his mind. He's never been to a ball game. He actually didn't go to a ball game until 32 years after the song was written.
Okay.
And so he had never been to a ball game. He just saw an ad, started writing it, gets to where he's going, and his buddy Albert Von Tilzer writes the melody, and they crank this out, and they perform it on vaudeville for years. And it was actually
okay.
part of vaudeville shows long before it ever made it to the baseball field. In fact,
So did they have to buy the rights to it, baseball, or?
I don't know. So, in fact, this is our follow-up question here, okay? It did not become a part of regular baseball games until
Babe Ruth sang it.
until the 1970s, when this Hall of Fame announcer, who worked for both American and National League teams in the same city, was responsible for the tradition of singing it during every seventh inning stretch.
I know who it is. What is he passed away?
He used to
He
lead
had the
the
glasses.
Oh,
He had the glasses. Harry
yeah.
Carey.
Harry
It
Carey.
was Harry Carey.
Oh, yeah.
Harry Carey.
Cubs and White Sox
Song.
games. Cubs and White Sox.
And that was actually when it began.
Yeah, White Sox and the Cubs. Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
was when it began.
Really,
being-
1970?
That in the 1970s, and then
Who would have thought?
because he went to the he went from the White Sox to the Cubs,
right.
in like 83 or early 80s. So because he was with the Cubs by the time you were with the
Right,
White Sox.
yeah.
So, but yeah, Harry Carey was the one that gave us "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" during the seventh inning stretch. So thank you to
Very
to Harry
interesting.
Carey.
That was
All
good.
right, what's our total, Ethan? Who won?
I got 17 and
You guys tied at 6.
no.
All right.
But to get one more.
I'm going to have to come up with another
Bonus.
one. Let me see what I got. This player famously once ate a dozen hot dogs and drank 8 bottles of soda between
Babe Ruth.
2 games of a doubleheader. That's right.
You got to let him finish the question.
You never heard it before. That's funny.
Cheater.
Americans in any given year will consume about 7 billion of these during the course of a baseball season.
Peanuts,
Beer?
hot dogs,
Hot dogs.
beer.
Ethan got-
Hot dogs
Give
again.
yourself another point there. Oh,
It
goodness.
doesn't count.
Let me see here. Oh, this ballpark is famous for
Fenway.
what they call McCovey Cove, which is where fans can wait in kayaks to catch
Giants.
home run balls.
Giants.
No,
Giants.
it's not Giant. It's his name.
It's the name of the park.
Is it AT&T now?
No.
It starts with a P.
It's not PNC.
No, not
and
PNC.
it does not start with a P.
Oh, okay.
It starts with an O.
Oreo.
Oracle Park. That's what it's called. Yeah.
Or
So, yeah, that was the,
Hey, you know what?
they have McCovey Cove where you can pull up in your
Oracle.
kayak.
Also, I seen it in the Golden State Warriors stuff, man. Yeah, Oracle.
San Francisco.
Yeah, San Francisco.
Yeah, because now
The
they're all named after sponsors. They don't
Yeah.
just have.
Yes.
Money.
Right.
Well, yep, Oracle.
Okay, so Fenway has the shortest
Left field.
distance to center field
Center field.
Right. Oh, center.
at 390 feet.
Really?
This park has the longest
Coors Field.
at 420 feet. No.
Oh,
That today's field.
Oh man, I know that.
The longest. Oh.
The longest to center field at 420 feet.
is it the
Global?
Oakland Coliseum?
No.
American League.
Global. No. American.
I can
Family.
I can see it.
Midwest.
Oh, Astros.
No.
No.
Midwest. Great Lakes.
Yeah, it must be Minnesota.
Oh, Tigers.
No.
Comiskey.
what-
It said Great
Comiskey.
Lakes.
But what's the name of the field?
Safeco?
It is the Tigers. What's the name of the field?
Because they changed
It's one of
it
these
now,
goofy
'cause
corporate
I know.
names. You'll never
they
get it.
changed because they didn't change the name, Tiger Stadium.
I
That's
always
all
call
they-
it Tigers. Yeah. It's
But they
actually
changed-
Comerica Park.
Yeah, Comerica.
Comerica,
Yes,
yeah.
Comerica. Yes, Comerica.
God bless Comerica.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the corporate naming of stadiums. I'm
But it's
much
about the money, though.
preserved.
That's
No, the good
funny.
one though. The good one though is Great American Ballpark because it just sounds
'Cause
like
it is a
good-
great American.
It is
Right.
a Great
Yes.
American
Yep,
Ballpark.
that's true. That's true. Okay, how are we doing?
Synergy.
Who won?
I think Rick won.
I've got Rick and
Anyway.
George tied again.
You got them tied
We're
again.
tied again.
You got to ask
thought it
one
was-
final question. You asked too many
A
more.
question that I know.
A question that
It's got to be about
Yeah, give
me.
it a chance. Yeah, give it a
And
chance.
Rick won't know.
Give me
Oh
something.
gosh, hold on. Let me get back.
Say
to
what?
some
What
of
shoes did you wear into the stadium
Oh,
in
sir.
19
Yeah.
first game of the World Series? I know, George. I seen
Oh,
you.
goodness, let me see here.
What pitcher did I get my first hit? I know. What team did I get?
Oh, did you get your
No.
the ball off your first hit?
I
Did you
think
remember?
so.
Okay.
It wasn't as popular then, but I think so.
Okay.
Okay, let's
That'd
move
be
away
nice
from
to-
ballparks if we can. Let me see if I can. Oh wait, no, I got to get this one.
One last question.
Okay, one last question. This ballpark has the most. Well, that's not the one I want to say.
The most fights, the most.
No, there's a better one about that ballpark, but they have a place where you can watch beer being made, and
Busch Stadium.
they
Brewer.
make a
Yeah,
special.
brewers.
They make a special brew,
brew.
all
Oh, yeah.
year long, and they only make it as long
gotta
as
know
their
the
team
name.
is in contention.
Oh, Coors Stadium.
Coors Field. That's it.
Coors Field. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they do.
That is it. So Rick got
We
the
don't
last
drink
point.
beer.
So then now we finish at 1-1.
do.
Yay! I wanted to
Told
be
you
that
it
way.
was going 1-1.
At first
Did
I wanted
tell
to
them
win, but I-
1-1. That's how it's going to finish.
All right. So when we
We
come
came
back,
on strong, man.
when we come
Oh,
back in the
yes.
second half,
But you were looking at the answers. I kissed.
when we come back in the second half, we'll have to see who can be the reigning champion of season one. Right now, everyone is tied. So that was great. So anyway, well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this little fun bit about watching baseball, and maybe even learned a little bit about watching a baseball game. I want to say from the bottom of my heart, all of you who have listened and taken these things in, thank you so much for all your support. Thank you for being a part of this. We have had a ball making this show week after week. It has been the privilege of my life to sit down with these guys and talk baseball, and I know that they've had a great time as well. And we look forward to coming back real soon with the second half of season 1. And until then, we wish you the best. Have a great summer, and we'll see you again on the Complete Game Podcast. We hope you've enjoyed the Complete Game Podcast, the show that's all about baseball. New episodes drop each week, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. If you'd like to support the podcast, consider leaving us a 5-star rating, or better yet, drop us a comment or a question and let us know what you think. The Complete Game Podcast is produced and distributed by 2 Creative Digital Marketing. Check us out at 2creativedigital.com. On behalf of Ethan, Coach Rick, and the Silver Slugger George Foster, I'm Greg Dungan saying have a great week, and we'll see you real soon.